Believe it or not, but there's a secret reference about to happen in the Super Mario Galaxy movie teaser trailer that I almost guarantee you missed. That on top of other secrets, Easter eggs, hidden details, and a weird cheat that the trailer pulls off that I almost guarantee you missed as well. Hey everyone, Andre here, and we're going to talk about everything we discovered in the Super Mario Galaxy movie trailer. I am loving what I'm seeing so far, and I can't wait to talk about everything I discovered with all of you. Now obviously the trailer itself isn't super long, so don't expect anything mind-blowing here, but you still might be surprised by some of the things we discovered. So let's go and start off with fact one, and that's just how freaking beautiful this looks. Look at it, it looks amazing. Their first movie already looked great, but this one looks like it might be even better. In fact, we can already see one massive upgrade right from the start. Do you see it? In case you can't see it, let me have Toad give you a clue.
It's moving!
That's right, all the grass is moving. Look at it, every individual blade is actually blowing in the wind. That is a huge upgrade from the first movie, where if we take a look at this scene with Toad, which is one of our best looks at the grass in that movie, it's completely static except when acted upon by a character, like with Toad stepping on it. Otherwise, it's completely static, and that applies to all the grass in the movie, unlike all the grass we can see in the new trailer, which looks absolutely fantastic. What an upgrade, right? Beyond that, though, is we can actually compare it to the first movie directly in terms of the graphical quality as well as the landscape, and we'll see some interesting differences. So right off the bat, you can see that the color grading in the first movie looks a little bit different, or at least the vibrancy of it, where if you compare this shot to a similar shot from the new trailer, you can see that it looks a lot more vibrant and brighter than the new one. Now that could be because of the time of day, which might have been morning in the first movie, so I wouldn't read too much into it. I did think that was interesting though, just how much the new colors pop. Now if you take a look at the actual geography, it also does look a little bit different. For one, we actually have these colorful trees in the new movie here. They're blue, purple, and orange on top of the typical green. Whereas if we go back to the original movie, all we can see are green trees. There are differently colored mushrooms, but the actual plant life itself seems to be pretty standard green. So it does make me wonder if one, they just straight up enhanced that for the new movie, or two, if we're in a different season now, which would make sense. Time has transpired, and it could be that the trees are just different colors, so that's pretty neat. Beyond that though, it looks to be pretty faithful to the first movie in terms of general layout. The castle itself appears to be identical, except for maybe one change, although I'm not certain it's a change, because if you look at the first movie here, you can see Peach's castle is on a pretty high mountaintop, which, whereas compared to the new one, it appears to maybe be a little bit squatter, but that could just be because we're seeing it from a different angle. In the first movie, you only really saw the castle from either head on or slightly to the right, as in this scene here, whereas in the new one, we're actually seeing it from the left side. We're actually a little bit to the left of the front of the castle. So it could be a trick of perspective, and also, depending on where exactly Mario is in the environment, that could also explain partially why the environment itself looks a little bit different surrounding the castle. Like in this scene, for instance, we really can't see much in the way of mushrooms, but we do know, especially compared to how many mushrooms we can see here, but if we go to the beginning of the trailer, we can actually see a fair amount of mushrooms are still there. So really, the camera perspective could really just be changing how it looks. Now, before we get too much deeper into things, I want to talk about a secret reference I mentioned, because if we go forward ahead here, we can see, of course, Mario sleeping underneath the tree, and check this out. A yellow butterfly lands on Mario. Now, that's interesting because for two reasons. One, Super Mario Galaxy, the first one, basically opened with Mario passed out on the ground, although he's awoken by a Luma in that case. However, if you go to the very end of the game, check this out. Where is it here? Right here, sorry. Mario again wakens up on the ground with a yellow butterfly on top of him, straight up like the new movie. So that, to me, seems to be very clearly a connection to the original game, which is a really cute touch. Now, of course, we do follow the butterfly, but look at this. We got Monty Mole, brand new character, not in the first movie at all, and on top of this, he's wearing a little hat, a really cute looking trucker hat, which if we pause it, we can see it has a little emblem on front. It's a green, red, and yellow emblem with a blue border on top and bottom. I don't know what it is. I tried taking a close-up look at it. It's a little blurry, so it's hard to make out. If you have any ideas as to what that icon is, I'd love to know it. But I still think it's cute seeing Monty Mole, for one, here at all, a brand new entrant to the Mario series, or the Mario movie series, and also with a hat for, I believe, the first time. So really cute, and I gotta know what that emblem is. Furthermore, the butterfly continues along a lake, and we can see Cheep Cheep swimming around. They were in the first movie, of course. But beyond that, though, is over on the right here, let me go ahead and zoom in, we can see some bitty buds are actually walking around. We got red, yellow, and blue ones. Let me go ahead and move the footage a little bit here. You can see them moving around the tree there, which again, look how colorful that tree is. That blue and green tree almost looks a little Avatar-like, so I love it. And maybe actually, now that I look at it, that blue color before it transitions into green, might support my idea this is a different season. It's actually changing colors, with the newer leaves being blue as it grows past, or as the green grows out. So again, really interesting stuff here. All right, continuing on, let's go and zoom back out, and we're gonna move on into a fun little cheat that they do here. Instead of cheap, a cheat, because watch this. You can see we're going along the river, and we then appear at Peach's castle. Here's the thing. We never actually climbed up that mountain I mentioned. Like, there should have been a lot more terrain between that river and the castle. See, there's a lake we initially are at, where the Cheeps are, and we will soon fly along, as you can see here. And then we immediately get to the castle. How in the hell did that work? Let me show you how that worked. Check this out. Keep watching. Bam! Right there. That Chi-Chi jumping in front of the screen is hiding or disguising a cut to the castle. You can actually immediately see the castle reflection appear in the water right there. And that's how we get to Peach's castle. And as far as I can tell, by the way, Peach's castle appears to be identical. We have the two soldiers out in front. That doorway, again, identical. The emblems, including a star one right here in the middle, also identical to the first movie. Although we do have the toads in the waterway fishing in front, which is cute. And by the way, I'm sure you noticed it, but there's also another fishing toad on the boardwalk right here, or walkway. You can see him on, just fishing off the edge. So that's cute. Anyways, let's continue on. So we're still following this yellow butterfly up past the castle. Again, same design as the Mario movie, as we take to the air, going into the stratosphere, into space, as we see the Super Mario Galaxy movie logo. Look at that. How wonderfully beautiful is that logo? And the butterfly lands on it. Now, of course, shortly thereafter, a Luma appears from the background and says, or let's go, I think is what he says. Now, a couple things before we get too deep into this. With this being a Super Mario Galaxy movie, it obviously means Rosalina is going to be a part of it, like unquestionably. Now, it might just be me looking too deep into things, to do too deep space into things, but I know something in the background here. If we zoom in on the far right, we can see some odd objects, including one, oops, I didn't mean to rotate it there, including one that to me looks a little bit like the Comet Observatory right there in the middle. It may be nothing, it probably is nothing, but it could also not be nothing, and maybe that is a hint of something from Mario Galaxy, again being the Comet Observatory. But outside of that, even in the logo itself, there's actually a lot of hidden details scattered about. We can see clearly identifiable things from the Mario Galaxy games. On the left here is what could be one of the planets, or I think the planet that you fight Bowser on that explodes at the end of Mario Galaxy. It could be something else too, like one of the more generic asteroids. I mean, there's a ton of them in the game, or planetoid-like things. Beyond that, we can see a UFO right here, which might just be the UFO from the opening of the game that steals Peach's castle. I'm not 100% sure if it's that same UFO. It might make sense, but I also can't help but wonder if it might tie into other things too. A lot of people want to see Daisy in the movie, and her original game in Super Mario Land had UFOs in it. So could this be a Daisy connection in some way to Sarasa Land at the least? Impossible to say right now, but at the least, UFOs do fit the Galaxy theme, of course, regardless of what the case is. And, if it is serving the same role as a game, maybe this is what takes Peach's castle, which could make Peach an actual kidnapped victim this time, which Mario has to go rescue. Again, I wouldn't read too much into it, but who knows. Beyond that, though, we also have Bowser's airship right here, very clearly seen as, including in the opening of Mario Galaxy, just before before Peach's castle is taken by the UFO. We can see other celestial objects, including what looks to be the Gateway Galaxy entry point from Mario Galaxy. That to me looks very similar. We can see like the well or the hole you fall into. You can see the platform where you meet Rosalina for the first time. And so that's all interesting. And then continuing on, we can also see this question mark galaxy, which never really appeared in the original game until the very end, just as when the new galaxy is created and the credits and the screen's fading out. You can just for a moment see a question mark galaxy. So I can't help but wonder what exactly this means. My guess is that either two things. One, they're just referencing iconic elements from the game for the logo, or that these will appear, in the background of some scenes. I can't imagine most of this will be directly related to the story, but it may be background details. But maybe not. They could play bigger roles, like that UFO, Bowser's ship, for instance. Though it is interesting, again, that we have Bowser's ship here, considering the first movie, he had that giant freaking flying island thing, right? And again, we're trying to bring up the UFO, right, or his airship right there. But so did he change to this floating to his flying pirate ship instead. I guess so it can work in space perhaps, although the physics of which, may not make any sense to me in movie form. I also wanted to point out the floating tree here, which I can't remember if that was directly from Galaxy or not at some point. There's so many freaking planetoids in that game, that probably is. But yeah, they hit a lot of details in this logo itself. So again, it does make me wonder about the story of this movie. Obviously, Rosalina's gonna play a role. The first movie already kind of teased her existence, or at least Mario Galaxy's existence, with Peach saying that she could be from any number of stars, which is a very obvious sequel bait, and it does make me wonder if Peach might be related to Rosalina in some way, whether as a sister or a daughter perhaps, which I think could be interesting, but it's way too early to say. We really have no idea. Beyond that though, I also want to talk about the cast of the movie, because interestingly, they confirmed most of the cast is returning, voiced by the original actors, but there are some interesting omissions, most specifically being the Kongs. Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong both were not mentioned being returning characters or being voiced by those actors, which makes sense if the rumors of a new DK movie end up being true, which might explain why they want to hold off on him and have him be the focus of his own movie. Furthermore, Spike is not mentioned as being a returning character, which kind of makes sense to serve a whole big role outside of his purpose for the first Mario movie. But then also, Charles Martinet is missing here, sadly, which makes me wonder if we may not see Mario's family again in the second movie, which would be a little sad. Although, it's possible they'll announce more cast down the line. And not only that, we may not see Mario's family. I also can't help but wonder, do we not see Brooklyn at all this time? The first movie did end with a tease in Brooklyn with Yoshi's egg appearing there, and it seems, and they haven't talked about Yoshi at all yet, though there was that potential leak based on the Old Spice leaked bottles that have this logo on it that do suggest that Yoshi should be in this movie as well, which again makes sense based on that initial tease from the end of the first movie. So yeah, I really don't know what's fully going on here, but I'm loving what I'm seeing all the same, even if they didn't give us a whole lot to go off of. And I will just again point out that the castle does have a rainbow in it, as in the first movie, though we can't see it upon this alternate angle, which is interesting. So I guess oh, actually you can still see the rainbow a little bit there. So yeah, I really can't wait to find out more about this. Chris Pratt's back as Mario. I want to see, I can't wait to hear more of how these characters have evolved over the course of the movie. And yeah, it's just looking absolutely beautiful, everyone. I am so in love with the first movie. I'm excited to see what they pull off the second one here, even though going straight to the Galaxy theme seems a little crazy, but hey, maybe they'll pull it off. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more on my thoughts on the Mario movie, I'm sure, soon enough, and plenty more here from us about the Nintendo Direct as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you later. And freaking Monty, I'm so glad he's back, or so glad he's in the movie, I should say, and I can't wait to find out what's the deal with his hat. Maybe he's a landscaper, and what else might be coming up for other returning Mario characters in the movie. And, including who's voicing Rosalina, what other characters could be appearing, maybe Daisy, and what the actual story is. So with everyone, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye.